I'm going to be talking about DC in this video, and to start off with, I think their biggest problem is their sliding timeline, right? There have been huge universe-changing events, but no one cares because one way or another, the status quo is going to be maintained. The changes to the characters and introductions to new heroes are so few and far between that most people just watch Comics Explained videos to understand the story instead of reading it themselves. Look at Doomsday Clock and Death Metal. Introducing an entirely new origin for the DC universe is huge. But by this point, there have been so many reboots and remakes that, to me, neither of those stories had any real impact. That and the new characters just immediately became oversaturated as soon as they started selling well. It's why the big two have such declining sales, and why manga is dominating the Western scene. Hard. Manga contains one story that you pick up from issue 1 and continue until the end, and that's it. Another issue I have is with paneling. Western comics, in terms of choreography and paneling, are nowhere near as good as manga. There's no real sense of motion during fight scenes. Some manga have a similar issue. Personally, I don't like Jujutsu Kaisen because, to me, the hand-to-hand makes no sense. It's just hard to read through the panels, compared to, say, Toriyama's paneling, which is incredibly clear. In terms of JJK, the anime really improves it a lot. I think it's an objective improvement. Still, stuff like Baki conveys movement and power in an amazing way, and Kengan Ashura does something similar where it clearly displays every punch and kick, so you can really see what limb is moving where and what they're doing. Motion lines are key to manga, because there's no real color. The only Western graphic novels I've seen that have good fight choreography are the Luther Strode series and Kill 6 Billion Demons. Kill 6 Billion Demons and Luther Strode are fantastic, and again, they're singular stories with beginnings and ends. Luther Strode is one of the only comics I've ever seen that has motion lines, and even then it's rudimentary. Maybe the introduction of color changes how much effort can be put into these motion lines, but again, conveying movement shouldn't be too hard. There are lots of ways to do it, but the mainline comics don't really bother. To fix Western comics, you'd need something like another Ultimate Universe. They did it, and it worked really well, but then it spiraled out of control, and Ultimatum was the final nail in the coffin. Then the Ultimate Universe crashed into 616 Universe in Marvel, which in my opinion erased the entire point of the Ultimate Universe. So it all circles back to that main issue of sliding timeline and no point in anything. Having a new line of comics from Marvel and DC completely separate from everything else is a good way to fix the endless stories issue. Basing fight choreography on something even resembling real-life fights might make martial artists like Batman and Iron Fist infinitely more believable as the experts they're said to be. Basically, the only way to save Western comics is to turn them into manga and webcomics. It's like the early MCU. As soon as the TV show started mattering to the MCU, it got tedious for me. It seems more like homework than anything else. It's why I stopped reading Western comics. I can't track 10 different comics at the same time that are all talking about the same storyline from different points of view. Just put them into a giant-sized collection if you want to keep that format. This might be the main way I see Marvel and DC saving their comics industry, because right now it's falling apart. Undoing remakes, redoing remakes, there's no wonder no one cares anymore. Media synchronicity means there will be practically no difference between the comics, games, or films anymore too. I'm still glad games like Edge of Time, Shattered Dimensions, Web of Shadows came out before the MCU. Their hero designs and stuff are starkly different. They're based mostly off the comics, the spandex-wearing heroes, compared to Insomniac, who literally changed the face of their main character to resemble Tom Holland, and he just uses discount Stark Tech. I'm pretty sure they're going to have all Peter Parker variants use Stark Tech from now on. All Marvel and DC have to do, really, is write a connective story with a beginning, middle, and end. All you have to do is tell a 3-act structure story. That's all it takes to save Western comics. Well, that and good writing.